Charles, I would really be interested in, you mentioned this in the main podcast. What is an LLM based application and how should we think about securing it?
Sure. So, first off, so LLM stands for large language model, and that's the underlying technology that drives GPT, ChatGPT, and all the other kind of similar products that are out there. So the applications that are that we're seeing that are really exploding now use these AI models to do various bits of functionality. So an example might be now chatbots seem to be the most prevalent and the most commonly known things, but in fact, they're actually these LLMs are useful for a lot of other things. So one example might be you could take a body of text and summarize it. So if you had like, let's say you're an executive and you get like 10,000 emails a day, you could have some sort of AI app that scans your inbox and then summarizes all of your email conversations, and you get like a one-page digest instead of having to read through every one of these emails. So that might be an example of that. Others, they can do a really amazing array of different things. So like, in my opinion, the chatbot area is actually kind of the least interesting. It's more where I'm believing this is going to go is I'm thinking these models are going to be embedded in more and more just regular applications. So another example might be like an Excel spreadsheet. You might have like Microsoft. I imagine Microsoft is going to do this at some point, but if they haven't already, but like embedding that technology in Excel, so you could just say, summarize this column for me, and then it would know what that action is, and then do it for you, instead of you having to like click buttons and create pivot tables and do all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I mean by like an LLM application. Um,
Yeah, no, and I was just curious, how should we be thinking of securing those?
so this is a really good question. It's not one I have a great answer for yet. Um, where I see the risks is so the way if you haven't used these applications in that context, the way you interact with them is by creating a prompt and then sending that to the model. And so the key thing I think is first off securing the prompt so that people make sure that nobody can see it. Which even that is more difficult than it may seem because malicious user can kind of craft input that would basically convince the model to output the prompt. So it's tricky. It's something that I think is going to be a lot more difficult than people realize. But basically, what I'm imagining is you just have to make sure that that the input is valid and not malicious, and then also like kind of really like any other web app, validate make sure there's no user supplied input that's going directly to an LLM without being validated, and then likewise making sure that any output from that LLM is being validated, especially if the LLM is generating executable code, because that could be obviously very, very dangerous. I built something which does text to SQL, and what that did was I made sure that um, first off, I used it in a code completion context, so it's not going to just generate random code; it will always generate a SQL query. But secondly, then once the LLM generated a SQL query, what it would do then is it would put it through a SQL processor and validator before the user sees it. So if the LLM generates some nonsense or some garbage, it would just throw an error at that point, and the user would not they would not have access to anything that could kind of help them hack the system. So, in my opinion, what I think people are going to have to do is they're going to have to just first off make sure there's no direct pathway from LLM to code execution, and then also make sure that any inputs and outputs get validated. But I think the challenge is really going to be around input validation because, like I said, you have to understand the intent of what people are doing, and that's a lot harder than just verifying like is this an integer or is this a floating point number or something like that.